Tornado Tag Podcast, episode 158.
That's way too many episodes.
A lot of episodes. We are going to be doing our pro wrestling scorecards. We're bringing it back.
Yes.
So it's like an
it's been a while.
impromptu little thing here. A little pro wrestling. You checking your hair?
Yeah. My hair is like, I forget it's a mirror effect.
Yeah.
That's why I used to wear a hat all the time. I had to bring back the hat.
I just get like a side eye.
I'm not used to being at an angle. I'm used to being at the head of the table.
Yeah,
this is throwing me off.
The head of the podcast table.
Yeah.
We are doing our pro wrestling scorecards, double or nothing. If you want to participate and join in, this card locks in exactly 2 hours and 55 seconds.
Well, now it's 52, 51,
50.
Okay, we can do this for 2 hours.
Yeah. So you can log in. You can either do digitally or you can print out a card. If you do digitally, if you check out the factions tab, the Tornado Tag Podcast is on there as a faction. You can join us.
It is a public faction,
which
you can join without an invite. So
which is
join
pretty
us.
Cool. And I think we're like one of two podcasts that are on there.
Yeah. And I think we are the third or fourth largest faction on Pro Wrestling Scorecard.
Yeah, so come join us and hang out. That is a cool thing that we have, that you can kind of participate and hang out. But we're going to run through the whole card and do all that fun stuff. I should have probably pulled up the graphic here, shouldn't I have?
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, not this graphic.
Well, while you're doing that, I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room for this whole show, which is, will MJF be there?
Yeah.
That's the big question that's on everyone's mind at this point.
Will MJF show up that is not on the scorecard, but will he show up at the pay-per-view?
Just to refresh everybody, in case you haven't really been following it, MJF did not show up for a meet and greet last night, a huge meet and greet with everybody from AEW, or a lot of the AEW top people. And he didn't show up. Samoa Joe, but I think that one was excused.
Yeah.
Sting, which was half kayfabe, half. Sting is taking a little break right now because he's been working a lot. He's 60. He's not injured, but he's also been putting his body through things that a 61-year-old man
shouldn't be doing,
like these crazy dives and things like that. But yeah, so then after that, the story broke from Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful that there was a plane ticket bought in Max Friedman's name. That's his real name. To leave Las Vegas and go back to the East Coast. And then the last update was that he was not on the plane. So as far as anyone knows, he is still in Vegas, but it's still in question as to whether or not he will actually show up at Double or Nothing to face Wardlow.
Didn't Sean Ross Sapp say that the locker room is saying that they are not being worked, or Tony said he wouldn't work the locker room?
The thing is that there has been reports that Tony Khan has promised he would never try to work the locker room, which if you look at the history of professional wrestling, when you try to quote unquote work the boys, it never ends well. It's a bad idea. It kind of just eliminates any trust that your independent contractors have for you.
Yes.
So it's never really a good idea. And Tony Khan promised he would never do it. And
MJF never promised he wouldn't work his boss.
That is true. But if this is something where he's going in the business for himself, I don't think he's doing himself any favors by appearing unprofessional.
Yeah.
But it's all speculation at this point, and only time will tell.
If they go on live tonight and say this match is not on, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
If they do the whole thing where Wardlow comes down to the ring and they're like, does MJF show up? Then I'm like, all right.
Yeah, then it's probably like they got the match in the ring.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a secret that MJF is not happy with his contract. He was signed before he became a star. Like, he became a star nationally through AEW. He was definitely a big name on the indies. People were aware of him. People were aware of his potential and his talent. But when he signed that contract with AEW so many years ago, he was signing as a guy who was coming fresh off the indies. And now he is, at worst, their number two heel, probably the number one heel.
I do give him credit for becoming that heel, but also they're footing the bill and getting the TV deal to get him to where he is.
Yeah.
So I get that he feels he's worth more, but even if he was MJF on the indies, he wouldn't be MJF that he's on AEW.
He's the guy who got signed on a low contract to come on a team and became a superstar. And now he's like, let's renegotiate our contract. And there was a rumor for a while that it was an issue where MJF wanted more money, but not an extension, but that has been debunked. Like, he is willing to say, I'll take more years, but I want more money. And my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, and we're all going on speculation. Nobody's in the room.
Yeah.
But the thing I've heard latest is that MJF is willing to sign a longer term deal for the right price, but that AEW might be like, let's negotiate once the contract is up.
Yeah.
And WWE would be fools to not be interested. I'm sure they are very interested. He is massively talented. He is 26 years old. I think we said on the last show. I know this is a thing. And so he's well under 30. Like, you could sign him to a 3-year deal and he will still be under 30, but he's up in 2024. Like, if you sign him to a 5-year deal, he'll still be like 32, 33 years old by the end of it, which is insane.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of years left on him. The best is probably yet to come, but the question is, where's it going to be right now?
Where does this lead?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as a business thing, I don't think it's smart for him to no show a pay-per-view.
If he, unless he has people in his ear, I'm not saying who, I am going to speculate, maybe Cody Rhodes, maybe Bruce Pritchard. Like, look, just cause them problems. We got you. It's in the bag. Like,
now, if that were to ever come to light, that's
contract tampering. That's highly illegal.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, WWE would never do anything highly illegal.
No. They would never misclassify. Well, neither would AEW. Neither company would ever misclassify people who clearly should be employees as independent contractors. That would never happen in a million years.
Yeah.
But
Ryan Vox said he just finished his card. Awesome, man. We'll play along with us. Let us know if we're on the same page or how we're sitting here. Or you can tinker your card now if you hear something we say. Or we may tinker if you say something cool. But what we got in chat here? Kelly says, or he's really doing this. I would really want. If he was, would you want to deal with him in your company?
Yeah, I mean, that becomes the question. I mean, the history of professional wrestling is littered with people who were considered difficult to deal with. Think about your favorite wrestler ever, Shawn Michaels. I mean, he said, well, he would have the common decency to fake an injury before he would do this.
Yeah, at least fucking
or milk an injury or milk a beating. Yeah. Like, at least pretend you hurt your knee and say, I can't lose to Brett at WrestleMania. I lost my smile.
He was
at least
jumped
do that.
by 178 Marines, Brian.
Yes. Yeah. He was a whole battalion of Marines.
Yeah, like
and he did nothing wrong to them. He did nothing to just draw their ire.
He was dancing like a sexy boy. Mm-hmm. And they were jealous.
Well, they were mad that he wasn't their boy toy. Is the problem.
It was upsetting, and they assaulted him.
Yes, and then he had a knee injury that was career-ending, even though it was back in 3 months after he didn't have to lose to Bret Hart anymore.
Yeah,
but what are you going to do? At least he had the common decency to fake an injury and just not show up.
We do have one more little bit of breaking news. It has nothing to do with this pay-per-view, but it is really, really cool because it's somebody that we hold dearly to our hearts, and we love him, and we love his local business here in Pottsville. Announced a GCW major a match announcement, which is it's going to involve we're dancing around, but Tony Deppen announced for a monster mashup at the next GCW pay-per-view.
I don't know if it's the next one, but it's a big one. GCW, you wouldn't understand, at the is it, what ballroom is it?
The Melrose Ballroom.
I wanted to say the Roseland Ballroom, but that doesn't exist anymore, and that's in Manhattan. This is in Queens, New York. It's going to be on Saturday, June 18th on Fight TV. Tony Deppen receiving a shot at the GCW World Champion Jon Moxley.
Dude, I got chills.
Yeah, that's
sick.
That's a long time coming for a guy who has put a lot of work in and has earned every bit of this shot.
Dude, I'm fucking fired up for him, man. That's sick.
Absolutely. And
they need to make a number one contender beer.
Yes.
We need that brewed right now.
Yeah. Number one contender vibes.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
So huge congratulations to Tony Deppen for getting a GCW World Championship opportunity. And what better guy to go against is probably the hottest guy in professional wrestling right now.
I don't know about that. You think Jon Moxley's the hottest guy in professional wrestling?
I do. I think the fact that he can show up anywhere and wrestle anywhere he wants, and like the fact that he can just,
I wouldn't put him in my top 10 hottest. Then again, this is back on I'm not the biggest fan of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah. I think it's hurting his stock in AEW, but I think the fact that he shows up at small pay-per-views,
he shows up for GCW and Sami Callihan's promotion. Right?
Yeah. But I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I wish more people would do it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what the arrangements are? AEW, like we just worked at a show with Cole Cabana last week, so there is some flexibility, but not so much at the top of the card. But John Moxley kind of writes his own ticket, marches to the beat of his own drummer.
I think he's earned it.
And big showdown with Tony Deppen at GCW in June.
Super cool. All right, well, let's get to our first matchup here. So this is going to be the buy-in Hookhausen.
Yes. The buy-in on YouTube, on a lot of things, it's the old free-for-all, you would say, in the old WWE days. It's the pre-show. And the pre-show match is Hook and Danhausen against Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling.
All right, so the card's going to say your winner, your fall type, who makes the fall, who takes the fall, and does Danhausen do the tequila spot at any time?
This is the match I am the most confidently getting a perfect score on.
All right.
And I could be wrong, but I have Hookhausen getting the win.
I do as well.
By submission.
By submission?
Yes.
Oh, the choke out.
I have Hook submitting Smart Mark Sterling. Danhausen does not do the tequila spot because of copyright issues.
Yeah. I'm going to change from submission to pin. I forgot that Hook chokes everybody out.
Yes.
But I had Hook pinning Smart Mark Sterling, but I'm going to switch it to pin our submission because I do agree with you there. I won't do this a lot, I promise. But that's smart.
Yeah. And that's a fun pay-per-view opener. It's not going to be
the build has been fun.
Yeah, the build has been fun. It's not going to be Savage versus Steamboat. It's not going to be Omega Okada.
First off, how dare you?
You know what you're going to get. You're going to get people who are incredibly over. It's going to be fun. And it's just going to be a good amuse-bouche, as they would say. It's going to be a good appetizer for the main show.
Yeah, Kelly said Colt did resign, but for more or less for ROH. Yep.
Yeah, he is reportedly earmarked for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and Ryan says yes on tequila.
Okay. Maybe they've bought the rights to tequila.
That would be awesome. All right, so our next one will be our first match. Well, we don't know the order.
Yeah,
but this is just what's next on the card. It's going to be for the TBS Women's Championship.
And here,
this is the TBS Championship.
That is the it's like the TNT title, but it's the secondary women's title.
Yes, and it will be Jade Cargill versus number 99,
Wayne Gretzky,
Annie J.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, much different.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this right before we went on air because there is speculation maybe women's tag titles are coming to AEW, maybe a trios title is coming to AEW. You have all these Ring of Honor titles that are coming to AEW. And AEW is by quite a bit my favorite mainstream promotion. It's the one I enjoy watching the most. If I had to say there's they're not without their flaws, and one of those flaws, too many titles. If everyone's a champion, being a champion doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Do you think they're bringing all the titles in to justify having all these big names and not having them in title pictures?
No.
Like,
if anything, it'd be like, well, what does it matter if Scorpio Sky's a
Scorpio
Sky's a TNT champion
and they put him on Adam Cole, right? So then Adam Cole is a big name with a title.
No, that makes Adam Cole look lesser then because he has to be in a trio. He can't have a singles title.
Yeah,
it makes Adam Cole look lesser then.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, but
have him be in a meaningful story that doesn't need a title.
Yeah, well, as soon as they booked him against Hangman, I'm like, oof.
Like when CM Punk and MJF were in a feud together, nobody really cared that they didn't have a title because they were invested in the feud.
In the story, yeah. All right, so we have Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. I have winner, Jade Cargill.
Of course, yeah.
Pin. I have match over 10 minutes.
I have it under.
No.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah. Most near falls. I say tie. I think they'll probably each get like a...
I think is a pin a near fall?
I would say yes.
Okay, then Jade Cargill might win 1-0.
Yeah. I think they'll each have like a false finish, kick out. I don't think it's going to heavily
this match is going to be terribly long.
Yeah.
This card is another thing. This card is very bloated.
Yeah.
Too many matches on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of these main show matches gets bumped down to the buy-in.
Yeah. Double outside interference. I said no.
The only way that I think that doesn't happen actually is if they do get MJF and Wardlow into the ring because there are too many matches on the show.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you run the next one down.
The House of Black takes on the Death Triangle in a 6-man trios action. I have the House of Black getting the win here.
So do I.
I believe Malachi Black will pin Ray Phoenix.
I said the same exact thing.
I have 13 aerial moves.
I went with 10.
Spooky.
Yeah. Oh, good call.
With 13. And it's the Lucha Brothers. There's going to be a million of them. And no outside interference is, I think, the last thing.
No.
Under 3.5 interrupted pin attempts.
I say over.
Okay. And I know it's not as easy as it is with WWE. Well, actually, Pro Wrestling Scorecards has gotten smart to this. It used to be like in a tag match, interrupted pin attempts would be like over under 2.5. You could get under and get easy points because there's this unspoken. It's just literally a rule in WWE that they don't talk about publicly, that each team is allowed one save, but they don't do that in AEW.
No, there's thousands.
So it could be. You might be right on this. I'm going to stick to my guns, but you might be right on this.
Yeah. All right. So John Moxley's not going to do that dumb shit, but he's going to do Anarchy in the Arena. No Stadium Stampede.
Yeah. Well, let's see how different they are. Like,
I think it's going to be goofy. Not goofy, but it's going to be everywhere. It's not going to be pre-recorded. Then they get to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. But it's going to be the Anarchy in the Arena. And it's going to be the BCC. I feel weird saying that. And Friends versus the JAS.
So it's Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Yuta, John Moxley, Eddie Kingston,
and Pride and Powerful.
There's 6 of them?
I believe it's a 5-on-5. Wait, Eddie Kingston, Pride and Powerful. It's 5-on-5. Moxley, Daniel Bryan.
Yuta's not in the match?
No.
Huh. Okay. Or they did an injury ankle for somebody. I don't know who's all in this. Oh, well, let's see who makes the fall. It is Santana Ortiz.
Wheeler's not involved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been paying enough attention.
It's a 5-on-5, yeah.
I don't like the Blackpool Combat Club if you've listened to the show. Yeah. I love everybody in it. I don't like it. The sum of the parts are much greater than the whole for me.
Yeah. It is fun to listen to Jericho and William Regal on commentary.
It got old for me pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every time.
You don't all have fun.
You're
the no fun love. I get it. It's all right.
You have the best wrestler in the world. There's a time and place for comedy. It's the Danhausen match. There's your comedy.
And Jade.
And Jade's not comedy. If you're going to have a comedy match, fine. Don't put the best wrestler in the world in it.
Yeah.
Have him just wrestle somebody for 20 minutes. Have him wrestle Daniel Garcia for 20 minutes, and then just have comedy in the background.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I have the Blackpool Combat Club winning.
Yes, me too.
I have them pinning. I have John Moxley pinning Angelo Parker. I just picked a random dude in one of those stables because I don't see Jericho or Daniel Garcia taking a pin here.
See, I do. I have, and maybe I'm being optimistic here. I have the Combat Club winning with Bryan Danielson getting a submission on Chris Jericho.
Okay. I have Moxley pinning Angelo Parker. I have 6 different weapons used.
I have 7. So close.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I said wrestler bleeds.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, someone's bleeding.
Yeah.
All right. You can do the next one.
It's Elite versus Delete, the Young Bucks against the Hardys for the first time in years.
I was going to wear my Hardy Boy shirt, and I did wear it, and then I went out and cut the grass and got grass all over it, so I had to change shirts. So I'm wearing Kingston today.
That's an old school Jeff shirt.
Yeah. No, it was one from Pro Wrestling Creed that looks like the old school Hardy Boy shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do we got here? He has Dragon pinning
Money Magic.
Dragon pinning
Matt
Money
Menard.
Magic, Matt Menard or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I went with something similar where I think one of the guys from 2.0 is going to take the fall, but I'm cool with that.
Yeah. No, I think they make it mean something a little more. Like Jericho's not going to hurt by losing to Daniels.
No.
And then you can. I mean, that is. I'm not feeling Jericho anymore.
What if Jericho makes Daniel Bryan tap out because his legs hurt because he got stuck in the ring?
Whatever. It happens. It happens.
Would you have an aneurysm?
No, I'm not going to get upset about it. I would be more upset if what I picked happens because that means Danielson's probably going to be stuck with Jericho for like 6 months.
Yeah, like a year.
And it's like
they're going to be doing dance numbers and stuff.
I am no, hopefully not. Like Jericho was okay for a minute there, and then it's like Jericho has just lost his luster for me. I know people love him. People think he's the greatest of all time. I'm not that crazy about Jericho anymore. Like for a while now, like I love the Dark Side of the Ring parody. Like that was fun, but the Wizard thing does nothing for me. The last time he really did, I was like, okay, Jericho is doing something here. Was when
I think Daniel Bryan's going to kick a fireball into Jericho's face.
That could happen.
Yeah,
he goes for the fireball, but Danielson goes for the Busiako knee.
Yeah,
Busiako knee, and he Jericho
blows up in his own face.
A face full of fire could happen.
I think that's a spot. You can book that. All right, so we got the Young Bucks versus the Hardys.
Yes, we do. So I have the Young Bucks winning with Nick Jackson pinning Matt Hardy. 16 super kicks because it's a Young Bucks match. Delete gestures, I'm going to go for 8.
All right. I have the Hardys winning
Really?
I
Okay.
do. I have Jeff Hardy pins Matt after a swanton. That's not in there, but I added it. I have 8 super kicks and I have 12 deletes.
Okay, that's way too many super kicks, or way too few super kicks.
Yeah, probably.
They're probably gonna do 8 super kicks on their entrance somehow.
Yeah. But I'm going a different route here. This is where I know in my heart that probably the Young Bucks are going to win, but I need to have something that makes me stand out in the card.
Okay.
And that's where I went with.
You got to take a chance.
Yeah, that's where I'm taking my chance here. And what do you guys think in the chat? Are you going with the Hardys or are you going with the Bucks? I still hold firm because the tag team right now, like there's really not a clear tag team that listen, the FTR is there. I get that. But FTR, I think I think they're content with them just hanging out with the ROH titles,
which is sad because again, you have the best tag team,
but they're champions.
They're the ROH champions.
ROH is still a good promotion.
ROH is not a promotion. ROH hasn't been a promotion at this point. ROH hasn't really been a promotion in 5 months.
Yes, but if it does come back, there would be awesome champions for that promotion.
That's a big if.
Yes, but I think it would be a perfect time right now with the Luchasaurus and them. If somebody if maybe we get a switch later on tonight, which spoiler alert, I don't think's happening, but it would be a good way to maybe not take away from the tag team division, but maybe let go away from, because Ray and Matt, the Young Bucks are tied up with something else, maybe with the return of Kenny or Adam Cole and that whole feud and then FTR is tied up with the ROH. It would be a time for maybe some other tag teams to get some shine, get some a small run with the title.
How about a tag team that's under 40?
And
How about that?
And I think the Hardy Boys get a small little run here with the AEW Tag Team Championships.
I highly doubt it.
I do too, but that's what I'm
highly
hoping for.
doubt it.
Yeah. You had Vox also has the Hardys. He has Jeff over Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Now, the match, if it happens or not.
Yes, the speculation. Let the speculation run rampant.
Yes.
Wardlow versus MJF.
This is where we may differ as well. Who do you have?
Wardlow.
I have MJF.
At this stage of the game, knowing what we know now, you think MJF is going to actually win the match?
I do.
Isn't the whole thing like Wardlow is done if he loses? Like Wardlow can't wrestle in AEW anymore?
Is that what it like?
I think so.
I didn't think there was any speculation.
I think it's like if you win, you're out of your contract. If you lose, you're done. Go away. Which I mean, if he's gonna, and we've seen this about Cody forever. If Wardlow is gonna be the Midnight Rider, maybe they do that.
I think MJF goes over, but not clean.
Okay, well, yeah, he's not gonna beat Wardlow clean. That would be dumb.
Yeah,
that would be very dumb.
I think they screw Wardlow over, and then obviously,
maybe. Okay,
he sneaks back in. Once again, I definitely want to go Wardlow, but I'm trying to stand out a little bit. Maybe this.
Well, yeah, you're gonna stand out as having the worst score.
Yeah, possibly. That's usually what I do. I go for risks here, but I went with MJF with the pin. Spears attacks Wardlow, yes. Low blow, yes. And Dynamite ring used, yes.
Oh, yeah. I have yeses for all that, but Wardlow wins. That's the only difference I have is Wardlow wins.
Yeah.
Because
it's only 5 points if I get it wrong.
It's 5 or 10. It's the whole thing where you throw the kitchen sink at the babyface, but they overcome it anyway. So I think that's where we're going here.
This is going to be interesting here. We all have different ideas of how this can go. And honestly, sure, the easy prediction is that, we have the couple taking the Owen Hart title, but I would have been more confident in the Ruby winning if she didn't get booed out of the building for losing to Chris Statlander.
Yeah, unless you do a double turn here, that's always a possibility. The second you make Britt Baker your babyface, she's going to be the most over female babyface in AEW history because she's a heel and she's already the most over female babyface.
And Ruby looks like she would be a heel with the black lipstick.
I mean, and Ruby is good enough that she can do either.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's just as effective as a heel as a babyface, maybe more effective if the crowd is going to guide her that way. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened, but I think AEW is not a company that does a lot of knee-jerk stuff. And I think if their plan before Ruby got booed out of the building on Friday was Britt Baker,
they underestimated how much people like Chris Statlander.
Yes, Chris Statlander is quite underrated. I think.
I've been high on her for a long time, and people are like, "Oh, now that she's not this dumb alien, we could take her seriously." She's been a badass the entire time. They haven't trusted her with anything. She's always been like the alien, but they don't really make her seem like a badass. I mean, they did when they first brought her back, and she was just like, "She's back," and she was like this big monster, but she's tall, she's built, she's very, very strong, she's super athletic. I just feel like after she came back from her injury, they just never really they put her in that feud with Layla Hirsch, and it was just kind of flat.
And for a while, if you were in the best friends and you weren't Orange Cassidy, you were kind of just shunted to the background.
Yeah.
Like Chuck and Trent had a decent run when they were doing the feud with LA or Pride and Powerful Santana and Ortiz. Statlander pre-injury was getting some momentum behind her. But for a while, it has felt like if you were not Orange Cassidy and you're in Best Friends, you're kind of
they're slowly breaking Best Friends up.
Yeah, which I mean,
it's time.
I think, and I hate to say because he's like one of my all-time favorite indie guys. I don't think that's great news for Chuck Taylor.
Yeah,
but
because Chuck and Chen aren't even together anymore.
Yeah, it's been all over Pongy Vice lately.
Yeah. All right, so we have Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Ruby Soho.
So yeah, we kind of talked about this, and I'm going to go chalk here. I'm going to go with the obvious. I guess you could say that Britt gets the win here.
It's weird that Britt goes 2-0 over Ruby.
You could say Ruby is due her win back. I don't know what their plans are for Ruby. If Ruby's turning, and this is a great time for her to turn.
Yeah,
because Britt is a heel, but everybody loves her.
Yeah,
and they know that Britt is a heel that everybody kind of loves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I also went Ruby submission.
I have Britt submission.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Ruby gets submitted. I'm sorry. Britt submission. I have 8 time before glove goes on. 8 minutes.
I have. What do I have? I went to another one here. I have 12 minutes.
12. Near falls. I have under.
Yeah, I'm under there.
And then outside interference. Yes.
I have no, just because it has been the trope with Britt matches, and if I think they are kind of nudging her baby face a little bit. And it's a matter of time before it happens. And I think part of that is she gets a win clean here, because if you are going to turn Ruby heel, then maybe she just gets frustrated because she lost a Britt clean as a sheet. And that is the spark that, like, I have to change something. But then again, you can say that, like, Britt cheats. Okay, you can do the old, well, I see that you have to take shortcuts to get ahead here, so now I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
So you could really go either way there. But I think Britt gets a clean win because it so rarely happens that they do it.
And on the other side of the Owen Hart finals for the men, we have Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole Baby.
Should be a decent match. Depending, it seemed like you would think, does Joe have anything left in the tank? And he had a really good match with Kyle. So yeah, he probably does. Joe is usually at his best wrestling these type of guys.
I would have booked that Joe hurt his leg during the Kyle match, so it like he's like down a limb.
Well, you can do that in the match, like Cole can.
But I would have ended it with like Joe like holding his leg or selling a knee that like Kyle really worked it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only difference I would have had going into that match. But I still have Adam Cole winning by pin. 13-minute match. I don't see it going super long. Maybe I'm wrong here.
I mean, I hope not, because I don't want this thing to be. I have to work tomorrow. I don't want this card to be 6 hours long.
Yeah. Chops, I have 6, probably low on that, and submission rope breaks, I have over 2.5.
Okay, so I have.
Actually, I'm gonna move the match to 15 minutes.
Yeah, I could see that. I have Adam Cole winning by pin. I have it at 17 minutes, 12 chops, over 2.5 submission rope breaks.
Yeah. And then we have the triple threat tag team, which honestly, man, after watching that triple threat, man, it can go in any way.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to go off the board a little bit.
You're saying and new?
And new, yeah. But then again, I have thought from the very beginning of Jurassic Express being tag team champions that it wasn't going to last long, and it kind of has.
Yeah, I'm the more I'm looking at this card, I want to, without, just so people don't think I'm just stealing your thing, I'm going to go with my initial gut. I'm going to change my
I have Keith Lee getting a pinfall over Ricky Starks. So champs will not be involved in the finish, and we have 8 aerial moves. And I think Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are your new tag team champions.
I have Swerve beating Ricky.
Okay.
Yeah, but I initially love Jurassic Express, but like I said, I think if it's time for a tag team to change hands, I think tonight's the night. Maybe start pushing Jungle Boy.
Now I'm reconsidering. Because you don't want to okay, no, I'm sticking to my guns. Yeah. New tag team champions, because like you don't want to change too many titles, but I don't think too many titles are going to change hands.
Yeah.
I just to foreshadow the final two matches here, I think
Ryan Box also says Swerve over Starks.
Okay, yeah.
There it is. Champs involved in finish. No.
In that case, no, yeah.
Yeah, and then Ariel 10 I have.
All right. So we're very close on that one. And then for the women's world title, a match I'm super excited for.
Yeah, the build up the match itself's gonna be good.
The match is gonna be really good. The build up was really bad.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa defending the AEW women's world title against Serena Deeb.
How do you have her going down?
Well, obviously I have Thunder Rosa winning. I don't think Deeb's gonna win the title here. I have a pin after 18 minutes.
I have submission.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she chokes her out.
I have a lot of submissions elsewhere, and you don't want to have like 50 submission wins on a card. So I have Thunder Rosa getting the pin.
Yeah,
in
you know
minutes.
what? If Britt's winning by submission, I'm gonna switch mine to pin. Yeah, I don't think two women's matches.
Cheat off my paper. That's fine.
Sorry. 12-minute match. I have six near falls and submission rope breaks over 2.5.
I'm under with the rope breaks. I have 18 minutes and 7 near falls.
Yeah, and then our AEW World Championship. Adam Hangman Page versus CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I have CM Punk as your new,
as do I,
AEW World Champion by pin. 21-minute match, which I think I'm shorting it. I think it might be longer.
Yeah, they're gonna want to go long on this one.
8 near falls, finishers over 2.5.
I have under just because I hope they don't do a million kickouts to finishers.
Yeah,
I hope that they're smart enough to know that the million kickout thing is played to death now.
I'll go 28, but
I'm going 32 minutes.
Really? Yeah.
Which I actually that has an asterisk next to it because I'm sure they want to go crazy long. And there is talk because tonight is also Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. And Tony Khan has gone on record as saying that match will not start until that game ends.
Why? That's so stupid.
I guess boxing did it. Like boxing did a thing where like they know people are watching both. So
fuck them.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing. Yeah, I have 32 minutes, 7 near falls, under 2.5 finishers, and yes to blood because Hangman.
Wow, he has Deeb by tap for funsies.
Okay,
he's going Serena Deeb as champion.
Apparently, somebody there really likes her.
Yeah,
I mean she's good.
And Punk over Page, hard yes on blood, and I think I gave it 18 minutes, but I might add some.
Yeah, they're going on a long main event.
Yeah, especially if we lose a match on this card.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to lose a match on this card, but I don't think that match is going to be terribly long either. Like one or two of these matches, because there's so many, and there's some that aren't even on the scorecard because the scorecard got published early. Like there are matches that aren't on there. I don't.
Chio says Adam Page still champ. Punk does not need a title but it helps build Page.
It hasn't done a good job of building him so far.
Page has. If even beating Punk, I still think he's not your most over guy in the company. And his championship run his matches have been great. The death matches, if you're into it, or the Texas death matches, whatever the hell they're called.
I mean, the matches themselves are fine. It's just the reign has done nothing for me.
Yeah, his championship reign has been.
I
think it's time to move on.
If you're keeping the title on Hangman, he's got to go heel.
Yeah,
he's got to go heel because he's at best like your number 4 babyface.
Here's the interesting thing with everything going on tonight. Punk wins. If Punk wins over Hangman, like everything you were setting up is Punk MJF, but
yeah,
that's gonna put a curveball in your plan here.
Yeah. I mean, it's AEW has had a pretty easy road so far, and now we're seeing AEW in a time where
some talent may be upset. They're not getting the push they wanted.
The honeymoon might be over a little bit for AEW, and now we're gonna really see what they're made of, and it's interesting. So that's something to look forward to tonight.
It will be very interesting. I give it to Punk and try to increase some ratings.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like their highest rated show is still their first show.
And Adam Page is having a diesel run. I agree.
It's done. I take that. I was going to say it's done nothing for me. I take that back. I loved his first program with Bryan Danielson, but again,
the 2 draws.
It's because he was up against, and I know it's something people are probably sick of hearing me say, but he was up against the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to have a great run against.
If MJF's out of your picture here tonight, who's the guy who takes the title off? Do they now say, you know what, Wardlow, you got fucked?
You might have to hotshot Wardlow, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're turning Punk heel. You have Wardlow as the guy who topples him.
Yeah, like he's like, Wardlow, you wouldn't even be in the situation if it wasn't for me. Like,
but the problem when you have that monster guy as your champion is he's got to lose.
And that baby, and then that honeymoon phase ends, and everyone's like, meh.
Yeah. Well, then again, and it's also when anytime you have a babyface champion, it's that age-old wrestling axiom: the money's in the chase. There's a reason every company, aside from WWF, when it was Hogan and was Hulkamania, and was Hogan against the Monster of the Month, long-term champions are usually heels because the money is in the chase.
Yep. It's going to be interesting. This whole I mean, I think the MJF Wardlow feud is like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't break my heart.
It does for me, just because
the storyline was so good.
Yeah, that's the match I have the most investment in, besides maybe does Punk win the title.
I just maybe I don't have enough faith in the match being something like, I don't think it's going to be a fucking barn burner. Yeah.
No, like as far as like matches, if you're just talking about raw match quality, like what are your show stealers? The House of Black Death Triangle is probably going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Cole and Joe, depending on what Joe has left in the tank, should be really, really good. The tag title match should be really, really good. Punk and Hangman should be really, really good.
Really?
Not the biggest fan of Britt in the ring. I love Britt everywhere else, but what was your favorite Britt Baker match besides the one with Thunder Rosa? That was lights out.
I thought her and Ruby had a good match the first time.
It was okay.
I think she does better when she's in there with people that are less green than her. Like, I think she does what she has to do to get the job done.
I think Britt Baker has had one great match in AW. One.
I think that's fair to say. I don't think,
and it was a great match.
I don't think she's awful, but I do agree.
No. She's not awful. She's very good, but it's one of and she's amazing with the other stuff as a character, the outside there, the promos, the presentation, all that is wonderful. And that's what really makes her a cut above literally everybody else in AEW.
I agree.
But no, I think the best wins match on the show, like just bell to bell match quality, is going to be Deeb and Thunder Rosa.
Yep.
But yeah, like
it's gonna be a lot of interesting scenes how they play forward going.
Yeah. The booking's going to be interesting. They're going to have great matches. People are going to go, pardon the pun, all out. Even though it's double or nothing.
Do we have any surprise people show up tonight, or any surprise things?
I hope not. AEW doesn't need more people. They just need to use the people they have better.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, AEW might be able to do some addition by subtraction with some people, but
that's why I really hope ROH becomes a company.
That being said, if Cesaro shows up, I'm not going to shed a tear over it.
I just don't see a spot where, like, if someone pops in is like, oh my God, they popped in. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's two people, if they showed up just because they're so immensely talented, be like, all right, well, that's great.
Yeah.
If Cesaro shows up, or if Johnny Gargano shows up, right on.
Yeah.
Like,
but where would you insert them?
I don't know.
Gargano for Cole if he wins?
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I think tonight would be the night where you can just bank on let the matches do the work, and don't get hyped up because you're hoping for the end of the match to be
you don't need
a giant superstar showing up.
Yeah, you don't need to hot shot.
Yeah.
In fact, hot shotting.
I mean, unless they're like, Wardlow, we have a surprise opponent for you, and fucking, I wouldn't mind seeing Cesaro Wardlow, but it would suck for Cesaro to come in and lose right away.
You don't want to debut somebody like that with a loss.
Yeah,
you don't want to do that.
I think if MJF doesn't show up, I just think, unfortunately for Wardlow, just to get the match off the card.
Maybe just,
or maybe throw Shawn Spears in there just for
Wardlow just beats the shit out of Shawn Spears and like 8 security guys and pins them all, and then it's like, you're out of here. You got your contract.
Yeah,
Wardlow is all elite. And then you put that big graphic up on your big screen. Wardlow is all elite. Because everybody knows the graphic at this point.
The only thing is, with
it's a meme.
With MJF going, like, I think MJF going for the title eventually. The reason I don't have him losing the Wardlow is because if he goes over super, super dirty, and then they do this whole thing where, like, well, you fuck the guy over, he signed his own contract with AEW. He didn't need you, like, kind of just the backdoor what he could have the whole time anyway. Just like, all right, he's not hiring me. I'm off his contract.
Yeah.
Now you can hire me.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's like, well, you try to walk out on our contract, so I'm gonna fucking hire him to walk out to overturn yours or some dumb shit. I don't know.
I think you're overthinking of it. Yeah. The logical thing is Wardlow gets
Miro return, maybe.
Yeah.
I think on TV soon, but I don't think on the pay-per-view.
It probably works out better. Like if they did a thing, if you want to keep Wardlow out of the title picture, and let's just say for the sake of argument, because if you put a gun to my head, I think the match gets in the ring tonight.
I agree too.
I think it gets in the ring. I think MJF does business. He didn't do business at the meet and greet, but whatever. It's a meet and greet. It's not a pay-per-view. And at that point, if you want to keep Wardlow busy without being in the title picture, you could do worse than having him feud with Miro.
Mm-hmm.
Just put two big bulls against each other, and the only downside is one of them's got to lose, and it's probably going to be Miro.
Yeah.
But if Miro is not going to be in your main event mix, maybe if you're keeping Punk babyface and he wins the title, Miro's his first challenger. I would be fine with a Miro Punk program. I would be great with that.
Yeah.
Especially because they usually have a program in between pay-per-views. Miro Punk as a TV main event is super strong.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are about that 45-minute mark, right about where I wanted to wrap this up. Brian,
yes,
the plug.
The same thing I always plug. Murder My Dude. We have a new episode out. Lacey Peterson. I mentioned it on the last show on Thursday. It was a case that drew a lot of hysteria in the early 2000s, almost 20 years ago, which makes me feel so old.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in college and hearing about that.
Do you think it was like OJ trial and then Lacey Peterson was the next big one after that, where like all over TV, or was there something
Robert
in between?
Blake was pretty big, but I don't know if it was as big. There were a lot of them.
Peterson was up there.
Yeah,
that was on TV.
And I don't think with the cameras in the courtroom, just the media coverage was so big. And well, the year before that, there was one, Chandra Levy, and we even mentioned it on the show. Chandra Levy was an intern for a congressman, Gary Condit, and they were having an affair, and then she goes missing in DC, and that was a huge story a year before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a huge one. And so yeah, project2minute.com. If you just look up Murder My Dude, you'll find it. And yeah, check it out. Check it out if you're in the true crime, if you're in the comedy, if you want to hear people make fun of horrible things.
Yeah.
Try to I always try to
put humor in dark.
Yeah, I always try to frame Murder My Dude as cackling into the void. We try to not make light of a bad situation, but try to be humorous while we're talking about horrible things. Is the best way to put it. But that's all I have to plug.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's it. IWEP Network. We have a show on Tuesday. If you are watching on YouTube or anything, go check out the IWEPnetwork.com. We have a lot of cool shows, Breakfast and Body Slams being one of them.
Yes.
We'll be live again on Tuesday with Street Behind Illusion. If you're into this show and you want to see more from Andy and Kelly.
So that'll be the 27 Club, right?
The 27 Club, we're going to be talking. And then we'll be live again on Thursday for Tornado Tag Podcast next week talking about.
I want to say I had the poster when I was a kid. There was a poster that was like Forever 27. Either I had it or it was like a wallpaper on my computer or something.
Yeah.
Where it was like everybody's at like this bar and it's like Joplin and Jimi Hendrix, all these people, and Kurt Cobain's walking in.
Like the diner shot. Or
well, no, it's almost like it's in heaven or something. It's in like clouds. It's like
okay.
outdoors, but like it's all these people, like all these older people that died. And then this was like a few years after Kurt Cobain died. So Kurt Cobain is like walking in and like greeting them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for Tornado Tech Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoy the pay-per-view. Thank you, Ryan and Chio, for hanging out with us in the live chat. I appreciate that. Coming in and talking to us and building up engagement.
Yeah, while Ryan Vox is here, let's talk about Legends of Hamburg this July.
Yeah, let's give that a
July 23rd, Legends of Hamburg, Outbreak Wrestling live show afterward. They just had a big show, Honor Autism Awareness, which wrapped up in April. It'll be hitting YouTube.
And we were the commentary team, which was a lot of fun. So you can check that out on YouTube.
A few other people. Yeah. We had fun on commentary. Always a fun time at Outbreak Wrestling. Legends of Hamburg. Who were the latest announcements? Dr. D, David Schultz, Booker T. We talked about it on Thursday. Charmel, Queen Charmel, the Hall of Famer. Dr. D might be somebody I plunked down some money for. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have a lot of money being unemployed, but I am going to scrape up some cash for my Dark Order mask, and that's pretty much all I'll be able to afford. And then everybody else will kind of just like, oh, there they are.
I always like to. I always have the benefit of liking some of the deep cuts, like maybe I've already gotten a picture of Demolition, but maybe I get my Repo Man t-shirt signed.
Yeah.
Maybe and then I can. What do you think now, Matt Turner?
Yeah.
Who's the biggest Repo fan now?
Honor debuts Saturday on
there
YouTube.
You go. So
you can listen to us on commentary on that show.
And then you can come out. I know they had a big announcement for the quarantine show the night before. I believe it's going to be on July 22nd. Which is that Mil Muertes from Lucha Underground will be involved.
That's sick.
Yes.
Yeah. And he said, we are not done announcing guests yet.
Yeah. Well, there's still plenty of time. You don't want to run out of steam. So, yeah, there's still over 2 months.
And we will be there.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
No one cares.
Yeah. We are Legends of Hamburg.
Yeah. We were ranked on Apple Podcasts once or twice.
Yeah.
Here we are.
We talked to Chris Van Vliet once.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a few times, but
yeah. And we are friends with Carrie.
Yeah. We're friends with a guy who hates convention.
Yeah. We're doing it. But no, seriously, thank you guys for the support. We'll see you guys at the next one. We love you guys. See you guys next time. Tornado Tag Podcast. We're out of here. Enjoy the pay-per-view.
Yes.
If I can find the button. Bye.
Later.